another review video. No. This is not one of those videos, all right? I'm gonna be so brutally honest with you guys about what I like about this light and what I really don't like about this light, because I had enough experience in the last like 4 or 5 days of production that I've been shooting this short film. Jayun might not like it, you might not like it, but guess what? I don't care, because at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is that if this light helps you guys, go out and buy it. If it doesn't, stay away from it. It's that simple. So I recently made a short film and I wanted to use the Mola's B500 as my main workhorse light because Jayun sent this out to me and they were like, hey, use it on whatever projects you have coming up and let us know, give us an honest review. I said, okay, you sure? Honest review? They said, yeah, go for it. I go, okay, honest review. And I was able to actually use this thing the whole duration, and I made sure that, like, even if I didn't like the light, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna try to just use just this light so I can give an honest, pure review and let you guys know, is it worth it to buy for your short film or maybe your lower production lights. And in this video, I'm gonna break down all the specs, I'm gonna break down who I think this light is for, and I'm gonna tell you guys how you could actually win one of these, because Jayun, one of the whole deals that we made was they were gonna send me out this light, but also I was like, hey, it would be really cool if we did a giveaway because I just reached 40,000 subscribers. Yay! And I wanted to do a giveaway for one of my people. So yeah, if you stick around to the end of the video, you guys can find out how you can win one. This is my attempt to make you stay to the end of the video. Now that we got that out of the way, let's move forward. So right out of the box, the first thing that I noticed is that this light is made with some metal and some plastic. On the sides of the light, it's made with metal and it feels pretty sturdy. And then, you know, there are some pieces of this light that are made with plastic that I'm not crazy about. Like, number one, the buttons are made of plastic. Can't really speak to the longevity of that. Number two, the thing that I don't like about it is I noticed that the tilt lever that you tilt the light up and down with is made of plastic, which is a little bit concerning just because that particular piece, a lot of the times you have to really tighten it and you really have to crank it. I'm wondering if over time it breaks. I don't know. I didn't have any issues with it while I was on set and I was using it. But that being said, I used it for like 4 or 5 days and I kind of had it in spots where I wasn't really messing around with it too much. So I didn't put a lot of wear and tear on it. Then the other thing, obviously, is the plastic buttons. Plastic buttons are not my favorite. You use the buttons a lot. You press them down, you move them around. Are they gonna last? I can't really speak to that because, again, I've only used it about 4 or 5 times. Now, with those initial concerns in terms of build quality, I didn't notice anything that was really too concerning. I had it in the studio, mind you, I wasn't banging it around, I wasn't throwing it like in the back of a truck or something like that. So I can't really speak to the durability of this whole thing, but I didn't notice any issues. Everything worked smoothly for me. Everything felt pretty solid. Nothing really bothered me too much other than the fact that I just can't speak to the longevity. Now, one thing that I was really surprised of was how lightweight this light was. For a 500 watt light, it was pretty incredible to just pick this thing up right out of the box and easily, as one person, just throw this up on a C-stand, and that was it, man. Like, you're up and running. The other cool thing is, and it's kind of a pro and a con, is that it comes with just one cable for the power. And I'm not sure how in the world they're able to accomplish this. We're talking about 500 watts of power in just one power cable that you're able just to, set this up in literally like 30 or 45 seconds. Which is pretty cool to me because, I have a 650B GVM that you guys know that I use constantly. And it's a little bit of a pain to set that thing up because you have a big separate controller. You got to attach, like a little, clip to it to be able to attach it to a C-stand. And it comes with a lot of parts. But being able to just, have one cable in a 500 watt light is pretty convenient. Now, the thing that I don't like about it is the fact that it doesn't come in the box with a separate controller. And why is this bad? Well, there was a scene where we hung this right overhead and I set the intensity and I also set the Kelvin to something that I actually later wanted to change. And because there's no controller hanging down on the C-stand or attached to the C-stand on the lower part of the C-stand, we had to take the light down and, bring down the Kelvin and bring down the intensity. And it took me a minute to realize that, okay, Zhiyun has an app for this, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of using apps, especially when it's attached to your phone, because a lot of the times my phone dies on set because I'm filming a bunch of BTS, or, you know, I'm taking photos, or maybe I'm just getting a lot of text messages and I'm going back and forth on my phone. And, you know, my phone died and I didn't have the ability to do this. So it was kind of a pain to take down the light and have to, you know, put down the Kelvin and put down the intensity. But that was probably the biggest con out of all of that. Is it a big deal for you? I don't know. You're gonna have to answer that. To me, it makes a little bit of a difference, but probably not enough to not buy the light. Now, to finish what comes in the box, the only thing else that comes in the box besides the light and the power cable is the dish. And speaking of the box, this light doesn't come with a case. It comes with the box that it comes in. And that to me is a little annoying. And I've had lights sent to me before that just have a box, and from my experience, the box slowly deteriorates and it breaks down over time, and eventually you're going to need to find a case for this light, unless it's just kind of like in a studio environment where you set it and forget it. But keeping in mind that this light is under $1,000 and it is a 500 watt light, it's not the end of the world, but you have to take that into consideration. And you might even have to take into consideration, like, do you have an old light that you can kind of use its case to put this in? Or maybe you could go and buy a separate case, or maybe you have an old Pelican case lying around that you could kind of stick this in. Because obviously this box isn't going to do, especially if you're planning on taking this on a bunch of different productions and, you know, you're traveling with this gear and you're moving this stuff around. Eventually this box is not going to hold up. Now, really quick, let's dive into the specs of this light, which I think that are particularly impressive. As you guys know, this particular unit is a total of 500 watts, and it is a bicolor light that ranges all the way from 2700 Kelvin all the way up to 6500 Kelvin. However, with that being said, I don't know if it's GVM or is Zhiyun, but I actually had both of these lights in a particular scene that I shot placed right next to each other, and I had them both at 2700 Kelvin, and one of the lights was significantly cooler. I think it was the Zhiyun, the B500 was significantly cooler at 2700 Kelvin than the GVM. I'm not sure what metric they use to measure Kelvin, but obviously one of them was off. Now, what's really impressive is the fact that this light has a TLC rating of 97 and a CR rating of 95. And for those of you who don't know, this is how they judge the overall quality of light. And let me just tell you guys, those numbers, if they're 100% true and accurate, that means that this light is pretty damn good. Now, like I said, guys, I didn't do any really hardcore technical, you know, comparisons or tests of this light, but what I did notice is that the Moelis B500 is pretty darn close to the GVM 650B in terms of power. To me, it was neck and neck. When I had both of these up at 100%, they were pretty similar in terms of power. Now, this light is extremely powerful, but the one thing that I found that was a little bit of a turnoff for me was the fact that this light gets pretty damn hot, especially when you have it above 50%. In fact, I had some gels, some colored gels that I threw on this light, and they just burned right through them. And I actually had them on the reflector dish. I didn't have them directly on the light. I had them on the reflector dish, and that reflector dish gets super hot, especially when you have this thing, you know, cranking over 50%. Again, not a huge deal, but just something to think about when you are making your purchase and when you are comparing this light. Now, really quick, I want to break down who I really believe this light is for. Like I said a few times already in this video, the biggest takeaway from this light is the fact that it's 500 watts in such a small, compact light, which is great for solo filmmakers or even content creators that don't have a big crew and that, you know, don't want a big, huge, heavy light to lug around. And what's really cool is that where filmmaking gear is going is that it's becoming lighter, faster, and just easier to set up. And this light really embodies that. And then obviously you have a couple of things that I really don't like. I don't like how hot this light gets. I don't like that it comes in a box. That kind of sucks. And the fact that it doesn't have an external controller that it comes with in the box also kind of sucks. I personally think that this is for high-end content creators or, you know, cinematographers who are just entering in the world of cinematography and looking to get maybe their first, you know, 3, 4, or 500 watt light. I really do think that this light could be a workhorse for you, and I think that it's a great bang for your buck. Now, who do I not think this light is for? I don't think this light is for serious professional cinematographers. If you're looking to build your lighting rig and you're looking to do professional high-grade cinematography or do commercial shoots or even short films, I wouldn't consider this light, and let me tell you why. Number one, plastic kind of turns me off when you're looking into getting lights that you need to bang up and you need to take on set and you need to maybe leave outside shooting through a window or something, and you know you're gonna take it down and put it back up a ton. That leaves room for wear and tear, and I think with plastic parts, eventually, I think they're gonna break. But again, that's just my idea, that's just my opinion. The other thing that bothers me is that it doesn't come with a case. So you kind of need to like spend almost $800 on this light, and then you need to figure out a way to go and get a case. That kind of bothers me too. So for that, I take it out of the category of professional cinematographer and I bring it back down to the category of like beginner level cinematographer trying to upgrade their gear and high-end content creation. Now that I talked to you guys about the specs and who I think this light is for, let me tell you guys how you can win one of these for free. All you have to do is go follow me on Instagram and comment down below in this video, B500, and you could win one of these lights. And if you guys do win one of these lights, Giant is gonna send one out personally to you. And yeah, man, that's just a thank you for you guys being a part of the journey. 40,000 subscribers is no joke. You know, I take it very serious, the fact that you guys are tuning in and watching these videos and paying attention to my gear recommendations and stuff like that. And for that, in my mind, I have a responsibility to really not only be honest with you guys, but really give you a full review of who I think that this is for, because the last thing that I want you guys to do is go out and waste money or buy something that is not going to be conducive to your career. So if you guys have any questions about this particular piece of gear or anything else that you want to think about investing in, please hit me up, DM me on Instagram, and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you guys. You guys be surprised how many comments I answer on this channel and how many DMs I answer. Also, we are, doing the Discord server. So if you guys want to jump on there, we're trying to build a large community of people that can just answer and be together in this community of filmmaking. So yeah, join the Discord server. I'd like to thank you guys so much for stopping in and hanging out. I'll see you guys next week. Deuces.